Irie friends, welcome back to the channel. So today we're going to be doing mostly berry plantings. We have to move some of our blueberries, and I recently purchased some large containers that I want to put those in. And then I have just received some deliveries from Starkbros. They had their strawberry or berry sale very recently, and I went ahead and purchased some more strawberry bare roots because, like I said, if I could grow strawberries as my grass, I would. So we have some more of the early glow strawberries, which I'm going to be planting in the back. I already have a batch of that in the front. I showed you guys in the garden tour, the last video that I just did. I also purchased some more of the sequoia strawberry, which I'm going to fill in the space in the front that is also interplanted with some of my yellow sweet Spanish onions. And then I also picked up a new variety that I bought last year, but they didn't make it. It's the Cabot strawberries. There's 3 different types of strawberries that you could actually plant or purchase. One of them is like the alpine strawberries, and those are usually smaller, and you would mostly start those by seeds. And then you have the June bearing strawberries, and those are usually like a larger strawberry, and they produce most of their berries in the month of June. And then you have the everbearing variety, which produces from I think about early June to maybe close to fall. So you usually use the June bearing if you're planning to can strawberries, so you will have a bunch of strawberries at one time. All of these strawberries here I purchased from Starkbros. The only strawberry variety that I didn't purchase from Starkbros is the Seedscape variety that I wanted to try, and that's from Amazon, and I'll link that down below for you guys. As soon as I received the strawberries, I went ahead and placed them in some water. It looks a little murky right now, but that's because of the soil on the roots and things like that. And then I like to keep them separate. You could see the early glow is already pushing out a lot of growth very quickly. They've only been in this water a couple of days, whereas one is the sequoia. Yeah, so not so much, and I'm going to be putting that in the front. And then this one came yesterday, and this is the Cabot strawberry. So they haven't really pushed out anything, but because we're getting rain for the next couple of days, well, actually about 4 or 5 days, I want to make sure that I try to get them planted. And then I also purchased some Mary Washington asparagus just because I wanted to try that. I don't know where I'm going to put that yet, but I'm just going to at least get the strawberries out, and the rest of the stuff I could wait until another day or so. Here are the containers, and I need to move this pile from here, but these are the containers that I just picked up. They are relatively tall. They hit me at about my knee, and I am 5'8". It is supposed to be 20 feet tall, and 20 inches tall and 20 inches wide. So my plan is to have the blueberry kind of set towards the back, and then I would just finish out the front with strawberry plants. So I have 3 of them now. I'm planning to pick up 2 more that I'll probably end up putting here, or maybe I'll push those a little bit more and keep it just right in this area right here. I don't know yet. So this is the early glow variety that I was telling you guys about, and it's essentially just taken over this whole front bed, which I'm not mad about. But in this bed we have the pink lemonade blueberry, and I think the strawberries are going to end up suffocating it. So I am going to take out both of these today and place them in the planter so that they could just have their own space and actually get some sun and not be suffocated by all these strawberries. I just went ahead and fertilized them with some Hollytone because, you know, these strawberries enjoy a little bit of acidity in their soil, so that is the fertilizer of choice for me. I'm trying to see if I see any nice large strawberries, but I don't see them. But this one is kind of getting a little bit red. It's not too big, but it's something. Here's another pink lemonade. She's on her second year as well. I figured it would be nice to just have all the pink lemonade blueberries in one area. This is a variety that's a mix between a rabbit eye blueberry, which is a much taller blueberry, and a northern high bush blueberry, and they grow well in zones 5 through 9. Especially love the pink lemonade blueberries because they're supposed to put out pink berries, and then they also have a nice reddish fall color, so I think that will look really nice, just having all these same berries along that pathway. So I'm going to dig up her as well, and you'll see the root difference between this one and the ones that I just dug up from the strawberry patch in front. She will actually have a nice root system, whereas the other ones did not at all. So let's pick her up. There's like a lot of worms here. So she has a nice little root system going on, and we'll take a look at the root system for the other ones. So here's the root system, or non-existent root system, for one of the pink lemonade blueberries. Here's another one, and these are about 2 years old at this point, so they should have a more established root system than this, compared to this one that's just been in the ground I think about a year. So you could tell that they weren't getting ample sunlight. They just weren't getting exactly what they need in order to grow. And it seemed like maybe the roots was just being bound up by maybe the roots of the strawberry. So I think this is best that we had plucked them out of that area, and now we're going to just replant them in these planters. Oh, I picked up some more Agaro. Let's see if let's do this method. Okay, this wasn't a good idea. There's a lot of wood chips in this one. As far as fertilizing, I either use the Espoma soil acidifier or I'll use Hollytone, depending which one I have on hand. Both the blueberries and strawberries love a slightly acidic soil, so I'm going to add some soil acidifier in here. I transferred all of my fertilizers in a container. It just makes it so much easier to contain, carry, and also store so you don't get that smell. I just kind of estimate how much I put in, but if you have the package, go ahead and read the back of the package. It'll give you instructions for newly planted and also established plants. This is how much I'm going to use. Whenever you're planting, the one thing you want to be cautious about is not planting your plants too deep. A rule for me is to just plant it wherever I see that soil line. So I'm just going to make a little furrow, and just going to backfill it with some soil. Try to remember, anytime you're putting anything in containers, you're going to be their source of nutrients. So I am going to come back in and make sure I'm not only keeping them on a good schedule as far as liquid fertilizing, but I'm also going to add some granular fertilizer back in here as well. I may add some Hollytone in here, maybe in like a month or so. And then I'm going to fertilize them with a mixture of the Alaska fish fertilizer and the More Bloom once they start getting some berries on. I'm going to continue doing this for the other 2 containers. I have 27 bare root strawberry slips here. This is the early glow. This is the one that I have in front. This is a June bearing strawberry, so that means that around June, that's when all the berries are going to come up for this variety. Usually strawberries are good in zones 4 to 8. So if you're in a higher or lower zone, you may have to bring it in, or for the higher zone, you may have to protect it during the really hot summer days. I'm keeping them towards the front part of the containers because as these blueberry grows, more than likely this back portion here is going to be completely shaded out. We're also going to get runners from this later this year, so it may just naturally go to the back, but I wanted to make sure that I'm saving the initial ones for just the front so that they have enough energy. If they want to shoot out runners and they end up in the back and they survive, great, but I want to place them while they have the best chance of surviving and continuing on to next year. I'm going to put these back in the water, and I'm supposed to get the other containers later today, so I may fill those up and try to figure out where I'm gonna put them. But for right now, let's just plant up these bare roots. So whenever you're planting strawberries, there's what I like to call the neck area here. And this is not supposed to be buried. So wherever the roots start, that's really where you want to bury the strawberry. You don't want to go above that. If you go above that, then there's a chance that it will not bear any fruits for you. And then I just like to make a nice deep hole for it and cover it up just to that area. My spacing in between each is about maybe 3 to 4 inches. I know the recommended spacing for them is usually about 12 inches, but because I am planting them in a container and I want it to be really full, I'm planting them a little bit closely. So hopefully maybe by the end of this season or next, the entire soil will be covered by strawberries, which will not only give us berries, but it will create kind of a live-in mulch for the blueberries, which will keep the soil nice and moist and protected from the hot sun that normally comes down in this area. So until they're able to spread and create their own mulching, I am going to be adding some mulch that I took off of the garlic bed. Sometimes I over mulch the garlics, so I have to end up taking and removing some in the summer when I'm trying to fertilize them, and I realized the fertilizer is not actually getting down to the soil because I just added way too much mulch. So I collected them in this bucket, and now I am using it for other things around the garden. Anytime you are planting anything in containers, you want to make sure that they are hardy to a zone like 2 or more than your area. So for example, I'm in zone 7B. So in order to keep something in a container that continues to live on, be a perennial and come back year after year, I need the plants to be hardy to at least a zone 5, right? So if it's not hardy to a zone 5, let's say it's just hardy to a zone 7, it's very unlikely that this plant is going to come back for me, because in a container, they are not as insulated as they would be in the ground. So it's a high chance that because of the cold and the freeze and thaw that happens during the winter, the plant is just going to die. So you want to just make sure that you check that before you put anything in a container. If it is not going to survive outside and you want it to be something that lives on, just make sure that you're bringing that inside, or maybe adding some winter protection. I've seen where people have like mulched it up, like put a cage around it and just put a lot of mulch around it for the winter, and that usually helps. But yeah, it's just safer to plant something that is 2 zones below the zone that you're in. Before I go in, I do want to go ahead and harvest all of these lettuce and kale. I think we're definitely going to be having a salad tonight. Look at that. And then we have some right over there. See that? Right in there. So we're gonna do some harvesting before we actually go in, and the rain will help replenish all of these lovely, lovely greens. Look at that. So you could harvest these by just taking like a leaf at a time. But sometimes what I like to do is just pinch off at the base, just like that, and they will still grow from that as well. So it's really up to you how you want to harvest. Because I have so much and we're going to have rain coming, like I said, for the next 5 days or so, I'm just going to pinch about 1 inch from the base. That way they will pretty much regrow during that period of time. Lettuce grows pretty quickly. And then we have some chard. I've never tried chard. I was hearing that it doesn't really taste good, but I'm not getting that from it. It just tastes very bland, but I'm going to put it in the salad as well. So I'm going to harvest the chard. And you can use a pruner, but I'm just using my thumb to kind of get in there. We have some kale. Here is our bowl of spinach, kale, lettuce. This is amazing. I'm going to show you guys what it looks like now, and then we'll show you again after all the rain and stuff. This is what it's looking like now. Pretty bare. We have some smaller spinach down here, but as you can see, this is how I went about harvesting most of them. We have some large kale down here still, and I'm just going to leave those to get up to size. Stay right here, I'll be right back. So the plan was to go ahead and plant some of these sequoias in the front, and also I was going to probably insert a clip of me planting up the other two containers that I still have to pick up, but it started to rain already, so we're going to have to end the video here. Thank you guys so much for watching. I hope you enjoy. I would like to encourage you guys to go ahead and plant some more strawberries. If you guys have kids, you know how often we go through strawberries. Organic strawberries are pretty expensive, so go ahead and plant some. Use them as your ground cover, use them as your grass. Let me know your favorite strawberry varieties, because I could always do with more strawberry plants. But thank you guys again for watching. Make sure you Irie up yourself, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye.